Ahora sí va, en serio. Ahora seguro. Tic-tac, tic-tac, tic-tac. Empezamos.
Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are here, man. But first and foremost, brother Faz, we missed you, bro. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm alive, man. I'm Gucci, man. I've been enjoying the sun. Do you know what I'm saying? I was saying it on my stream, you know, bro, like, so much credit to you, Rance and Lee and the football content creators, because, bro, how you, man, go every day is mad. I needed that break, bro. I needed that break.
Yeah. That's what it's about, man. You got to take a break, enjoy it, come back, re-energize. And yeah, man, it's a 24/7 content world. Look at it now. All of a sudden you get Bruno news. We're gonna talk. You know what I'm saying?
Now, yeah, it's made everybody kind of raise their eyebrow. And obviously, right now, Bruno Fernandes is the hottest property for Manchester United right now. He's literally the hottest property for Manchester United. He's the MVP for Man United. And you know what, Saeed? Maddest thing is, yeah, when I'm out and about on my break, I had so many people come up to me and say, Faz, if Bruno was in Arsenal, they would have won the league. Every other fan is telling me, Faz, Man United, yeah, Faz, how you doing? Bruno, if he was in Arsenal, he would have won the league. Yeah. I'm like, bro, don't just stop, man. Like, just stop. Just stop.
Now, listen, I want people to have that opinion, man. You know what I'm saying to you? And I can say that about so many players that they might not rate, you know, and I say, you know what?
Yeah.
I see something in that player, and that's what it's about. When you look things from a different angle, it always looks a bit more better. We watch these players week in, week out. Like Garnacho. There's people that say, bro, Garnacho's unbelievable. Why do you want to sell him? Bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they could be right, they could be wrong. Is what it is. We see this.
I've seen a lot of comments on your post that you said, you'd be happy to sell him.
I listen, I'm you know us, man. We're not afraid to say our opinion in it. That's why we have such successful channels and we do our thing, bro. I'm not really bothered. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, it is what it is. I'm open to selling Bruno Fernandes. I am.
We're in a phase, with Manchester United where we need to be open to selling anyone.
Really and truly, yeah.
Really and truly, we need to be open to selling anyone because, okay, Bruno Fernandes stays for another year. I mean, he's definitely going to be looking at another deal or his final kind of deal, considering the amount of games he plays. He's going to want another big check. And you're going to have to think to yourself, as we give him the next check, he's going to turn 31, 32, 33 by that point. Do we really want to do that? And then it becomes like a point where we can't part ways with him and he goes on a free. You have to think of that as well. And if we keep him, yes, he ends up winning the Europa League this year, and that would be great, whatever. But I also feel like that would be a great way to say thank you very much for your services. It would be a fantastic way to say thank you very much. 85 million, see you later. You've said 100 million plus. I don't know how much you said. But
I said on the Big Six, right? Big up to Nedu in the chat. I said, on the Big Six, if they come in, I want around 120 million.
Never possible.
I'd give him 400. But I'm not gonna lie to you. They wanted Matoma for 90 million. Al-Ittihad. They wanted him for 90 million. Matoma, don't get me wrong. I think he's a good player. I like him. But is Matoma 90 million?
No.
But they bid it and Brighton rejected that amount because they said, yo, we don't want to sell him. If they were to come in and make an offer that is not refusable, and they give in 120 million. Sometimes you got to say, okay, hold on a minute. You might not rate the player, Faz. This is where you don't allow.
It's like the Salah bid. Remember the Darwin Núñez bid?
Yeah.
How much was the Darwin Núñez bid?
I'm not sure what they bidded. Chat will have to let me know.
Someone in the chat, remember? And Hussam went into a meltdown when Liverpool rejected it. Absolute meltdown. They went crazy. It's like that. If a mad offer comes in, Manchester United have to entertain it, bro. And by mad offer, 85 plus, 90 plus, plus add-ons and whatever into the hundreds of millions. Then you can say, you know what? Okay, let's actually dissect how we can, because bro, selling Bruno Fernandes clears PSR, everything clear. Everything clear, all our problems. The window.
What we have to make it clear that United are adamant they don't want to sell him. Very, very adamant. They don't want to sell Bruno Fernandes. You feel me? Like that is the manager won't have it. I don't think majority of the board would have it. I don't think majority of fans would have it. This is just me and you. Well, you know, I mean, we're from Manchester. We're just saying, let's have it. But we're just as fans here. Also, would Bruno Fernandes want to leave as well? You know what I mean? I don't think he is intending to leave Man United. Like, say, for example, we go in the Champions League next year, and, hopefully we do. Do you think Bruno Fernandes leaves that Champions League to go to
No chance. Think about, for example, Jamie Vardy's 38 years old, and unfortunately, he's just been relegated, and he still wants to play Premier League football at 38.
Yeah? Why shouldn't he be? He still believes in the Premier League.
He still believes he can play in a team in Premier League. And Bruno Fernandes, after the season he's had, there's no way he's in the right mind to think I'm going to leave Champions League football to go to Saudi Arabia. So even if they come in with 120, 130, I think Bruno himself is not accepting it. Do you know what I'm saying? Bruno himself be like, I don't want to go. I'm not leaving. Unless they pay like some daft amount of money to him. And we already pay him daft amount of money. Don't forget. How much money do we give him a week? 380, something like that? 350? 400? I don't know how much we give.
He's on 350. So,
unless Saudi come in with something crazy like 600, 700, 800, and other than that, I don't see Bruno Fernandes leaving. It's just not possible. I think Bruno,
You know what it is? The news came out today, yeah, that I was thinking to myself, nah, man, there's no point even talking about it. But when like I said to you, I seen the Fabrizio when he says Al-Hilal have a genuine interest in Bruno Fernandes as one of their top targets this summer. Man United see Bruno as a crucial player, staying for Rúben Amorim. No talks have started between clubs, no bid or club-to-club approach. Man United is on clear plan to keep Bruno. And then there was another comment that he said as well there, more on Bruno. He said he's been a top target for Saudi already 2 years ago and last summer too before he signed a new deal at Man United. Rúben Amorim considers Bruno as key, crucial piece of his project and clearly doesn't want Bruno to leave. This is the sort of thing that if he was to leave, then the manager would be wanting to leave as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's obrigado. You know what I was there? Like, obrigado. Like, listen, I think for me, United can survive without Bruno. And I think it would be a good thing to understand that, you know what? We haven't got one player that's providing the stats and whatnot. And we haven't got one player that, you know, United see as a savior, you know what I mean? And whatnot. But then also, I understand that in this period now, when we are in right now, who can get you out of a situation? Who can score a goal? Who can get you the assist? It's Bruno, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean? When you really doubt the brother, he gon' slap a couple of G and yo, you say you man, you know what I mean? Hold that. I'm saying to you. So we know that. But I generally think in the long term, and this again, we don't know what is long term with Man United, yeah. Manchester United and what Bruno Fernandes gives you, I think what he doesn't give you as well, I think we need to move away from that as well. I think for me personally, anyway, like when I look at his midfield position, when I look at where he's really going to play in this system right now, I think sometimes we put him in there because of what he can have in terms of influence of goals, but necessarily is that a long-term position for him in that 10 or the right 10? Is it a long-term position for him in the 6? You know what I mean? Like, he's more of a 10-10, a guy that can play in a 4-2-3-1 as that sole 10. You know, in this system here, at the start, we found it very difficult. Remember, he was struggling at the start, and then he managed to find his way in. So, but the level of importance right now is very, very high because the rest of them aren't performing. Let's be honest. Bruno's the one that's performing. The rest of them aren't. You know, not to maybe standard. Ahmad was there, but other than that, no one really is performing to his standard. You know what I mean? But then you then see that as something, you know.
In a team, you lose your main kind of threat, but it doesn't mean that the team are not going to be able to score goals. We've lost Xerxes and Ahmad, and yet still managed to see through Europe and, you know, see through games. Some majority games we haven't done well, sure, but it's not the be all and end all. I feel like if Man United do get money for Bruno Fernandes, and if it's invested correctly, you're able to build, the team with numerous players, not just one. Numerous different players you can go and get for that sort of money. And especially how you have to think how Ratcliffe thinks about getting the next projects, the next up and coming, the younger players. You can go and get a 22, 23, 24-year-old for 30, 40 million. You can get 3-4 of them if you clear Bruno Fernandes with that sort of money.
Yeah.
If we keep Bruno Fernandes, what is our aspirations to win next year? Playing in the Champions League isn't an aspiration. In like for a club like Man United, playing in the Champions League shouldn't be the aspiration. It should be going into the finals. You should be winning the trophies. Yes, we're winning the Europa League, touch wood, this year. Inshallah, we win the Europa League. But what's next year if we keep him? That's how I got to look. Liverpool just lost Trent. And I see them crying. They lost Trent after they just won the league. Not even like after they, you know what I'm saying? Remember when Aubameyang left Arsenal? He was like after the FA Cup or something.
That hurt a lot of Arsenal fans, but they saw because the manager wanted to get rid of a player. This one wouldn't be a case of United getting rid of a bad egg, but it's an offer that is almost looking at you glaringly like, yo, 120 million. Is it one of them where are you going to get a better offer than that if United bid for that? You feel me? Like, it's like when
comes around, because in 3 years' time, Man United fans will be looking at this. 2 years' time, they'll be looking at this. They'll say, "Oh, we should have accepted 100 million."
Yeah,
they will.
Yeah,
they will, because how many people have come around and said we should have accepted Napoli's offers in January for Garnacho?
True.
We should have entertained it.
True.
Do you know what I'm saying? And now you're looking at like you saw reports, right? Garnacho 20 million of his valuation slashed. If we keep Bruno Fernandes for 2 years and today he's worth 100 million, in 2 years' time, is he gonna be worth 60 million, 70 million? That's how you look at it. In 2 years' time, is he gonna be able to give me 60 million back? Probably not. If his deal's running out as well, probably not. You're probably going to get chump change. But in those 2 years, is Bruno going to give you 60 million pound worth of output? Are we going to win a Premier League? Can we win an FA Cup? Can we win a Euro?
We're gonna be a cup team more than anything, really. Let's be honest.
Can we win more cups? That's how I look at it. I don't mind keeping Bruno Fernandes, but I look at the yin and yang balance. If I keep Bruno Fernandes, in 2 years, can I get 60, 70, 80 million pound worth of output? But then if I go and get a younger player, I can sell that younger player if it doesn't work. I can make shift with that. You know what I'm saying? But then Bruno's also the captain. If you lose Bruno Fernandes, whether you and me want to see him in the car park, whatever,
you lose a captain, no.
Yeah, he's a big figure in the
dressing room. Absolutely. Yeah,
we don't have many big figures. Weekend, it was Luke Shaw, the captain, bro. Deep that. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I'd rather see Bruno Fernandes than these Luke Shaws.
100%.
You know what I mean? 100%. But again, like, for example, this question here, big up to Rowan State Lewis, says, say the impossible happens. Who replaces Bruno? Listen, I think for me, there's always going to be that question. But listen, Cunha's there, and Buemo, you know what I mean? Like, you do get goals and assists from them. You know what I mean? Like, you can go and get these players that might not get you Bruno GA, but then this is where I believe the plus of maybe getting rid of a Bruno Fernandes is that we don't rely on one player to get the numbers now. You then now get players and say, right, we're going to spread the goals and assists now, and we're going to make sure that we are insistent on Ahmad getting goals, Xerxes, whoever. Obviously, you got Buemo, Cunha. If you do them, get them players there now, they can get you goals and assists, and then it's spread around a little bit more.
Yeah, but Bruno's no Mohamed Salah.
From a midfielder, though, he has got impressive numbers.
You've seen Bruno Fernandes in the season get bare of his GA from penalties after Martial was winning the penalties. Yeah. You have seen that. You've seen Bruno Fernandes sign for Man United, score bangers from outside the box, and then gone disappearing for season on season. So it's not like you haven't seen it. It's because if Manchester United was in the same position as they are right now, but the goals were separated with like Garnacho, Xerxes, Rasmus. If Rasmus had, I don't know, 30% of Bruno's goals today, people would have said sell Bruno Fernandes. People are simply saying keep Bruno because of his GA. That's as simple as that. If Man United were exact same goals, exact same situation as they are, going into the Europa League final, and Bruno had less goals, they would say sell Bruno. It's simply because the GA people's opinions are changed, not performances. Not performances. In this season alone, Bruno has had shocking performances. But because of the GA, people are like, oh, it's GAFC. 100 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a crazy amount of money.
It is. I agree.
Deep how much transactions? Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, Bruno. You're talking over 400 million, bro. 350 million in transfers. That is enough for you to rejig the entire squad plus more. And that's the situation we're in. We're not in a situation where we're competing for titles. We're not. Liverpool losing Trent, I understand, some sort of crying because they probably have aspirations to win the league again next year or whatever. But we're not in a position to win nothing. We're not. We barely survived Leon game.
Just because me and Steve was just laughing and saying, "Oh, Jim would want the money." You know what I mean? Jim needs the money. Jim wants the money. But really and truly, like, I know we had the PSR issue and whatnot, and maybe you have to get rid of that one. But boy, like, it is one of them.
The PSR won't affect Man United once they sell Garnacho.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Yeah.
So they'll be looking at it like, do I really need to sell Bruno Fernandes? Don't forget, Bruno sells the most shirts, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the highest selling shirts as well.
Yeah.
Fan favorite as well. And fan favorite was one thing the reason why they didn't sell Garnacho. Remember, it was fan favorite. They didn't sell Garnacho. So letting the captain go like this, it would leave a lot of fans pissed, considering season tickets going up. You know what I'm saying? As well, top reds would be, a lot of Man United fans would be really, really upset.
Chat's frozen, man. Is the chat frozen for you on this side?
Yeah, I had that as well. Yeah, chat's frozen. I had that in my stream as well, where the chat was frozen for a little while. I don't know why.
Guys, everyone hit the like button, people. I can't really see the chat now. I can see it on the super chats here. There's a couple being sent. Big up to Raheem from South Africa. It's not all about GA, but influence in the game. You won't find someone similar to him now. Again, that's you maybe not looking at football in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? Like some people create like Bruno, who are a bit more forceful with what they do and the volume of what they're doing in terms of like it's constant. You know what I mean? You've seen it, like constant spamming of the ball, constant. You know what I'm saying? Like constant. Like bro, like that. There's a different. You get players who are a bit more silky, like someone say they're Baena. You know, you might get someone like that. You might get a different sort of player who likes to play in a different style. So you're gonna get these different styles. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Fans?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get.
But the person said
ways.
influence. You look at influence. Like look at how Cherky influenced the Leon game when he played against us. Cunha, how he influences games as well. You have so many different players. You can influence a game differently. If you're looking at influence, there's loads of players that you can go and get who can influence the team. The more you have better quality players on the pitch, the better influence you're going to have in terms of scoring and creating chances. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think Bruno Fernandes is the priority to sell. I really don't. I think Rasmus Højlund is. I think Garnacho is.
Absolutely. By the way, I want to make that clear. Like Bruno, even though I said Bruno Fernandes to be sold in my, that video that I did, like, who to sell. Bruno Fernandes is in there, but would I say he's like ahead of Shaw, ahead of Højlund, ahead of Garnacho, ahead of I don't know, like other players? Nah, he's not there. But he's in there. He's in there because I see the way I see football being played. I want to move away from hero ball, forcing the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm trying to say? I want to go away from them characteristics in the way we play. That's what I want to do. Personally, for me anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
By the way, Bruno Fernandes, how old is he? 30 years old, right?
30 years old. He's 30. He's 30.
Kevin De Bruyne is 33 years old.
Yes.
Kevin De Bruyne is still performing at the peak of his career, still doing mad things on the pitch.
I believe his physical condition, though, is not the same as Bruno. Bruno is more athletic. Bruno is more in physical condition. He can press better.
Yeah. I agree with all of that.
De Bruyne is a better player. De Bruyne is a better player.
Man City are going to be looking for a 10 as well, no?
Man City are going to be looking for a 10. Yes. They're looking at Gibbs White, bro. And he's not really a 10.
Manchester City done a 4P, won Champions Leagues, and they're looking at Gibbs White.
They're looking at Gibbs White, but they're also looking at maybe a Florian Wirtz. But right now, they're after Gibbs White. But
you get my point. They're also trying to figure it out. And that's what you do as a club. You figure it out. You go and find players. Just because they're linked doesn't mean that's the player they're going to get. They may be entertaining different options, but that's what we need to do as well. Why do we go into the, like, oh my God, this player is the be-all and end-all. We cannot let this player go. Why? De Bruyne has come out middle of the season and said, I'm leaving, G. Like, I'm done. And Man City didn't even offer him a contract, apparently, right?
I know. No, you offered him a contract, no.
So deep that.
I actually hear that why they haven't done that, man. I know it sounds crazy, but I hear it because you know what, man? He's not the same player. He's getting a lot of injuries. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So I actually hear why he's not being given a contract. They did it with Yaya Toure. They did it with Aguero. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, they're used to that. But this is the thing, though. If you have an ideology and you have a way of playing, it doesn't come down to one player. This is what I mean about selling Bruno Fernandes. If we, as a fan base, are thinking, yo, how dare you sell Bruno? He's one of our better players. But, like, Guardiola doesn't... I think his ideology isn't like that. Like, he's like, yo, if we have to move him on, let's move him on. Like, we move on. You feel me? Like, they will move on.
Pep lost.
They move on. They move on. You know what I mean? You move on. You find a way of evolving. You find a way of playing a different way. You know what I mean? Like, before Bruno came in, we had Jesse Lingard, then, man. Then we had Paul Pogba. We haven't replaced a lot of players in our team. You know what I mean? Yeah, unless you're probably Ball Scholes. That's right. But, like, I think a lot of us, and this is Man United, it's like we're always looking for that savior. And I'm sick of it, bro. I just want to move to a team that is playing, functioning as a team. And that's not necessarily Bruno Fernandes.
Look at how many players Pep lost. Do you know what I'm saying? Aguero, Company, look at the keepers. Look at so many players he's had to let go. And he's cried about players going as well, but he's still figured things out. They have gone on, they have moved on from Aguero and brought in different players. It's not the be all and end all. I don't understand this thing with people. People are acting like Bruno Fernandes is the next best thing since sliced bread, like he's the Ronaldo or something. He's the best player on earth.
In this United team, is he though? In this United team,
sorry?
when you look at it here, like a lot of United fans compare him to like a Cantona. You've seen it before. They compared him to Cantona. They said he could be in the United teams. He's considered a United legend, etc.
No, he's not.
No, but I'm just giving you the devil's advocate here. In this Finnish United team that's been so poor, is his kind of almost status been, kind of almost inflated by the numbers?
Exaggerated.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Because he has. He's not won a Premier League with Man United, bro.
Yeah. Even though necessarily I would have put that again down to Bruno Fernandes. But what I will say, though, is that in this team, though, he's put in the numbers. His own job has been, can I get numbers? Can I get assists? Can I get goals? He's done that. But then you see where me and you and maybe other people are different is that you then start to piece up what you get when you do that. And you are maybe overcomplicating your game. You're trying to chase the assists. You're trying to get the goals in. You need space in midfield. You come ill-disciplined. In big games, we don't see you. You see what I mean? Like, that's where the stats don't tell the whole story. You feel me? And that's where my issues have been.
That's how Rio Ferdinand ended up looking stupid when he was doing Garnacho prop.
Garnacho prop? When did he do that?
Remember when he compared Garnacho to the best wingers in Europe, the youngest wingers in Europe?
No, I didn't see that. But when did he do that?
It happened straight after when my incident happened. And he said, look at his numbers compared to Saka. Compared to all of these, compared to this guy in PSG, that guy in Barcelona, this, that, the other. He's got the most numbers. And then my man dropped a video saying Garnacho should go to Napoli. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how people look. That's how people, you have to look at the context of things rather than just actual numbers right now. And a majority of these pundits will say Bruno's numbers define him to be staying in a Man United Champions League.
I agree.
I don't think so, bro.
Bruno's sale goes to debt payments. That's funny. Selmania, he isn't rated by Amorim and 17th for PSR. That's another whole new conversation, that one. But you know what it is, though? Like,
I don't think he's not that. I don't think Amorim. I think Amorim rates him. It's just a matter of time.
If your comments are not your comments here, just keep getting them through because obviously they're a bit slow on the YouTube. You know what I mean? Listen, I hear both sides, innit? If you'll be like, how before it used to be maybe a little bit, like I hear both sides, like, if you rate Bruno, cool. Like I get a lot of the time, bro, what's your agenda with Bruno? I say it's not really an agenda. It's just, I just don't particularly rate that sort of style of footballer. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, we brush away his flaws because he'll then get a little GA and then all of a sudden it's forgiven. You feel me? Like, I don't really rate that, to be honest with you. And when we've been in these dark times, people, cool, we got a goal. But, there's other sides of the game where, you see it with Tottenham game. You see it with the Everton game. Games where, he single-handedly cost us games, on his own. He's ill-disciplined. So I think for me, I'm what's good for the football club. You know what I mean? People might say Bruno is good for the football club. I hear it. But there's so many, again, like ways of understanding how to play football. You know what I mean? Like even Garnacho, I don't really particularly rate him anymore. Remember at the time, I was the one I was defending Garnacho. I would say give the kid time. And all of a sudden, I started to see things about his game. I said, get out of here, man. I'm not really feeling this, bro. Greedy. You know what I mean? Thinks he's Ronaldo. Nah, I'm not having that. So as you see more things in a game that you like or dislike, you then become to, have, your own judgment and start to say, you know what? This is not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? Like people will rave him, say he's world class and he's unbelievable. That's good. Do that. So I just don't rate him in that kind of way. And what I will say though is he's been better than Odegaard this year. I'm not going to go and say Odegaard's been this and that. I think Odegaard this year, he's been better than him. Very, very much better than him. So I won't just look at him and be like, nah, man, I don't rate you one bit and I'm going to make sure I shit on you. No, I'll give him credit when it's due. I'll say whatever. it's just not my cup of tea. Bruno Fernandes, that's it. Not my kind of style. But when he gets the goals, I ain't gonna be like, yo, like he did this and that. Like, yo, he did his thing. Cool. Say no more. You know what I mean? There's a super chat that's gonna come through now again. Rima says, he said, is it a she or I don't know who's this? You know, people can be, you know what I'm saying, like you know what I mean? You don't know whose people are nowadays. Says Bruno is the least of your problems. In fact, he's carrying your team. Sell the old deadweights first. Fix the financial mess. Yeah, he overdoes it because of this mess he's surrounded with. What do you believe with that as well? Like he's the least of our problems. I get that, but he's a mess because of what's surrounding him. What surrounds him is because he's, you know what I mean? Like,
how long do we have to build a team around a 30-year-old? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Do you even think before you say these things? We're building a team, so the players around him are not good enough. So change the players around him in how many years? In how many windows? How long do we have?
Yeah.
How many players are we gonna change before we win a Premier League around Bruno Fernandes? Like, how do you even comprehend that? I don't understand. Like, people are making it out like he's Wayne Rooney, who needs to be accommodated. I don't get it, bro.
Wayne Rooney.
I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't understand. I really don't understand.
And like I said, if you are a big Bruno fan, get your comments in it and let us know. We want to have the balance.
But that also tells you the lack of leadership in Manchester United. Because on the other hand, I don't want to let Bruno go because we don't have that many leaders in the team. Casemiro's possibly leaving. You know, there might be situations where Casemiro's leaving. I'm seeing Luke Shaw as a captain. I don't want to see Luke Shaw as a captain, bro. We've got no big voices in the team. You know, there was Delict on the pitch and the manager decided to give the ban to Luke Shaw. On what planet does that even make sense? There was Ugarte on the pitch, Mason Mount, Champions League winner on the pitch, yet you gave it to Luke Shaw, who's missed 5-6 years of football. Like, what kind of mad shit is that? What kind of mad shit is that? I don't want to be seeing that. So, on the other hand, I want to keep Bruno Fernandes because he's on a captain level. He's had very good moments. Players speak highly of him. Do you know what I mean? He checks he checks all the players all the time. You can see he's got like a big brother approach to all the players.
Yeah.
And I like, you know, whether I don't like Bruno's football, I like that how available he is. You know how much like
no, there's so many pluses to Bruno Fernandes, by the way. He's available. He's he sets the tone. No drama yet. He gives his all. He's 100% in everything what he does. Like that there. You know what I mean? You ain't seeing a Bruno Fernandes that might want to press or not. Like, he wants to do what you like, bro. But the problem is though, it's the for me the forceful nature of Bruno Fernandes. I'm telling you now, when it goes bad, it's bad.
Yeah,
and we've been bad for a long time. You know what I mean? So that like all of this is not coming from a place of like you've got an agenda. Like, bro, we've seen this, but we've also seen the other side of clutch. He could get you the goals, he could get you the assists. But bro, I'm telling you now, my eyes don't lie to me.
I can't believe someone commented saying he's one of the most clutch players in world football, shows up in big games. Saeed, we literally spoke for years how Bruno doesn't turn up in big games. We literally
especially the away games.
For years, we've spoken about how Bruno doesn't turn up in big games. And he turns up against mid-table teams or cup competition teams or, you know, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, lower league teams, but he doesn't turn up against Premier League teams and that. We've literally spoken about that. Yet people are now rewriting history for some reason. Like, that's just, I find it crazy, bro. I find it, and it's all because of recency bias. Recency bias.
No, you know what it is though? Recency bias is going to be more common in football, isn't it? Because I think it's life, isn't it? What have you done for me lately? Like I think that's a common theme in football, isn't it? What have you done for me lately? And it's a common thing in life, yeah. So my thing is that right now Bruno Fernandes is on a good run. I'd say Bruno Fernandes post Wolves has been a good player for United. Like, he's not been a bad player. I think he's been good. I think also credit to the manager as well for understanding his game and almost like, you know, maybe coaching that into him and say, yo, listen, I don't want you losing the ball. I think even the manager spoke about this. He said, yo, like, I've had to tell Bruno not to spam the ball and, you know what I mean, make sure you keep the ball. Like, you know, like, we have to give that credit to the manager as well. But also, he's been a bit more suited to the 6th role. You know, when we've seen him in the 10 role, he ain't really the same player. When he's in the 6th role, we've seen him, you know what, very, very much better play in terms of he's having to almost like temper his eagerness to go and get on the ball and start spamming. He's been a bit more refined in his game. He's starting to take care of the ball. We've seen a bit more, I would say, experience from him in that role. You know what I'm saying to you? And he's having to take on that role and be careful on what he does. So that there is very, very good. But like I said to you, bro, if the money is there, guys, you're lying if you're selling. You're not going to sell him for 120 million. You're lying. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Adam.
What's going on, people?
What's going on, man? Listen, Bruno Fernandes, number 1 hater, is here today.
It's not
you know
hate.
Look, he's scored this season goals against, you know,
the
teams that's named after a vaccine, bro. Like Victoria Pilsen and that. Like, what we doing?
He scored.
Acting like he scored bangers this year.
Man City penalty.
He got an assist against Southampton.
He racked 3 GA the game we won 7-0 against, what was it? In the early up in some cup.
Was it Barnsley?
Some shit like that.
I think so.
Bro, he got 3 GA against Leicester, bro, and them man are getting relegated. Like 2 assists and a goal. What we doing? People are acting like this guy is on another planet. Like,
nah, he isn't. And you know what? If you want, I think Ricky, he put the Bruno's GA.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, Ricky today?
Not today, a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And if you look at how he scored those goals and against who he scored them, it's very deceiving.
Of course it is.
And I'm seeing people not under 100 or not under 120 million. Yo, taking the piss, take the money and sprint.
I said it on the Big 6 here. They all laughed at me, bro. They all turned the cameras off when I said 120. I take that. You know what I mean? And then for me, because you got to remember, Saudi Arabia got money. They want a big boy player. Not many big boy players are going to be around right now in their prime. You know what I'm saying? To like, and ready to come over. You know what I mean? Like Al-Hilal now, they don't want to be getting these scrubs now, man. They want to be getting.
It's actually crazy. He's got 5 GA against Leicester alone.
Yeah, I know.
Like what the? And people are comparing him to. People are saying he's the fact that people are saying he's world class. Yeah,
28 goals, 17 assists, 10 goals, 14 assists, 13 goals, 15 assists, 23, 24, and 15 goals, 30 assists. This season, 19 goals, 18 assists. Listen, I'm not gonna say, for me, he's been one of our better players this season. Can we all agree with that one? Even though
for the last month or so,
I'd say probably since.
Did you notice anything as well? Do you notice something that is actually quite interesting? If you look at 2024, he scored less, and the season before that was the first season with Ten Hag, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Usually the season Bruno plays the best is the season he doesn't have the most GA. Or at least the season we do better is the season we doesn't get the most GA.
Yeah.
Because look, now it's going to be his best GA season.
Yeah.
We are in the pits of hell.
I agree.
So what do you pick? I'd much rather Bruno have 10 goals, 10 assists, or even less than that. But we are 5th, 4th, fighting to create a score.
Serious?
It just is what it is.
But you know, to play devil's advocate here, they're saying that, yo, if we didn't have Bruno Fernandes, where would we be?
But you see, every time.
So let me ask you a question. Where would United be? Yeah,
the same place where we are. We've played games without Ahmad, without Rashford.
I don't think we're going to get relegated. That's the thing. I don't think United get relegated.
Games without Marcus Rashford, who had a 40+ GA season, bro. We've played games without Marcus, without Ronaldo, who outscored Harry Kane, by the way, in his prime season. Ronaldo outscored him. Yeah, and we're still scoring goals and somehow managing to go to the Europa League final. Like, it's not the be all and end all. This thing about where would we be is a mythical thing. Where would I be if I did not go somewhere? Or this is just a mad, absurd thing.
No, but the thing is, the reason why fans say that, right?
Conspiracy.
It's almost to say, yo, listen, guys, you lot don't appreciate Bruno Fernandes. But the thing is, though, I could say this season, if we didn't have Casemiro, we would be nowhere in the Europa League.
There you go.
And then the problem is, though, everyone's agenda to Casemiro is absolute shocking. You know what I mean? And then that isn't great. You know what I mean? Let's be honest with you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say, bro? So that I don't like that. You know, if you've got an agenda, with certain players, like give people credit and say, yo, listen, without Casemiro this year in the Europa League, we wouldn't be in the place where we're in right now because he's been very, very integral.
Exactly.
So
and we don't have data. We don't have data without Bruno. Like I think he did not play about five games ever since he joined. And if you look back at those 5 games, usually we have more control. Usually they are against sides that it's not fighting for much, so the intensity appears to be a bit slower, like less intense. But usually when Bruno is there, this is the thing people don't grasp. I'm not saying he's a shit player, even though I don't rate him. I'm judging the game as a collective. It's a team game, and I'm looking at my club, and my club is doing terribly. And year on, year out, Bruno is getting more and more importance, more and more influence, and the more important he gets, the worse we get. Because if you think about it, we've kept all the shit players I don't rate, and we sold all of the decent ones I liked. And we've been getting worse and worse.
Yep.
You just think about it. The more, like,
I agree.
Season, where would we be without McTominay now? Without McTominay's goal, or what do we say? Is Ten Hag better than Amorim? That much better? Where would we be with Ten Hag? It's senseless.
And the fact that in a team game, people say he needs better players around him, like he's the main player. When a team game, unless you're a world beater, unless you're the like the best player possibly you can find, there should be no question about it. And Bruno Fernandes is not the best player you can find. Money can buy. He's not.
Of course not.
He's not scoring bangers. He's not a Neymar. He's not a Messi. He's not a Ronaldo. He's not a Hazard. He's not a Bale.
Let alone those quality players. The thing is, as well, there are players that make the team better, and there are players that don't. And those players can be good players or bad players. Like, for example, there are quality players that don't improve the sides in which they play. I always give the example of Philippe Coutinho. Whenever Philippe Coutinho leaves a club, that club seems to improve. But Philippe Coutinho is a very, very gifted player. He's a player I like, and I think Coutinho is a very, very good player. But somehow it feels that he gets too much place, too much importance in the team. It seems to be dysfunctional to some extent. I don't know what it is. And you can never point out the facts because it's football. It's not science. You can only look at tendencies. But you can never look at causality. Of course you can't. But it's the same thing with Bruno. Bruno might be a good player, but he doesn't seem to improve the team. We removed everyone around him. We moved all of the players. We signed centre backs. Casemiro lost his legs, and then Eriksen lost his legs, and then Kobe Mino was the answer. But all of a sudden, Kobe Mino is not athletic enough. And Ugarte, what happened to Ugarte? He used to do so well, and now all of a sudden he's
Casemiro. Ahmad is now a wing back, and this, that, the other.
Exactly. So I'm just like, try to build the team to play well.
Yeah, I agree.
And just look at the variety and different profiles of players Bruno's played with whilst being in Manchester United. Look at the depth of players he's played with. Look at the whole roster of players he's played with. The amount of penalties he scored when Martial won them, like, this is just mad. I find it absurd how people can mention that he needs better players around him. Let him go to Barcelona then. Like, I don't understand. Why is Real Madrid not bending their back for Bruno Fernandes if he's so good?
You look at the players that left our club, for example, the mid players, like average players or decent, like the McTominays and the Elangas, you could almost say that they deserved better than Bruno based on how their careers have gone since they left.
Yeah. You know what I will say though, I'm big up to Troy Trey says there's no plus to Bruno. He's the highest turnover rate the league since he came into Premier League. He's a net deficit. Time to cash in. I listen. I think for me, like I said to you, when you want to see this team progress and want to see this team play in a different way, you know what I mean? Like, can you where can you fit Bruno Fernandes in, and what do you intend to play? What's your style? Do you want to keep the ball? Do you want to keep possession? Do you want to play transition play? Because you remember, Amorim, the reason why we're losing, and I'm not saying it's down to Bruno Fernandes, is because he doesn't quite know what he's trying to do with this team, and he's trying to fit the different styles in. He's trying to fit different players in, and how can we get the best out of this player here? I might have to shoehorn this player here. Do I have to do this? So we failed collectively because of that. You know what I mean? So he's got to look at the team and think, yo, what is my best team? What do I do with this team? What do I want from this team? So you've got to understand that there's going to be some tough decisions to be made. You got to look at players like you're looking at the Aubameyang situation. Yeah, Aubameyang was scoring goals for Arsenal. He was their top scorer. He was,
and they still
saving
replaced him. But look at where they are.
Yeah, he was saving them, bro. Aubameyang. You know what I mean? And then he made that tough decision of selling the players.
And look at where they are. They punched up Real Madrid. They might have a chance against PSG. They're competing for Premier League titles. They come in second, and they won like that before. So
let me see this here. What did he say?
Bruno's been the first standout player this season, once again for Manchester United. There's been talk at the weekend.
By the way, just pause quickly, Saeed, before you run the clip. The question in itself is a bit of a Bruno has been the standout player for United once again. You see, always you come with the premise, with the idea, the pre-made conception that Bruno is that great of a player. What are you going to do with him? But you're not looking at the fact.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Z, I'm gonna have to remove your mod, man, because you're moving mad. I can't lie. You get me? So Z, that's
not gonna happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
But he revealed that he had offers and he had to think about them in the summer before he signed his contract. Would it surprise you if he maybe felt in this coming summer that maybe it's time for him to move? He's 30 years old now. Maybe he feels that everything he wants to achieve, he can't achieve here in terms of winning big prizes.
That is the challenge. I want Bruno here because, like I said, in maybe in the lowest moments of our season, we want to win the Premier League again. So we want the best players to continue with us. And this is 29, I think, but he's still so young because he plays 55 games every season. Between assists and goals, he's there for 30 at least. So he's the type of player that we want here. So he's not going anywhere.
Just on that, actually, Rúben, how are you so sure about that with Bruno? Have you had these kind of conversations? Obviously, he shows his sort of love for the club, I suppose, in other ways in terms of the foundation and the talking with the academy players. But how do you know that in your position?
We are in control of the situation, and I feel that he's really happy here, especially because he understands what we want to do. And then I think he's one more supporter of Manchester United. And he really feel it. And sometimes the frustration that you see, everybody sees and say that maybe it's not a good thing in a captain. It's a sign that he wants this so bad. So this is the kind of player that we want. And he's not going anywhere because I already told him.
He's not going anywhere because I already told him. Bruno Fernandes, the manager, cannot let him go, man. Yeah, you lot are not deep in this, man. Like I always say, a litmus test for a manager is how they deal with Bruno Fernandes.
So that's why I want him gone, bro. One of the reasons I want him gone.
If you look at
you want Bruno or gone, manager gone?
At this point, both.
What? Nah, that's crazy.
Saeed, I'm at the point where I have to say,
you can say you want a player gone, but the manager's a bit too
Bruno, I wanted Bruno out since 2020. So like people are acting outraged in the comments as if I've been on this.
Jason, if you're a Bruno fan, we want to hear opinions, man. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? I like different opinions, man.
Yeah, but because let's be honest, if I said that many times, Saeed, I don't judge manager's situation on a game-to-game basis. But if he doesn't win the Europa League, you don't have a single argument in defense of that guy. It's been absolutely scandalous.
Yeah. I would say he would need time to build his own team, though.
Yeah, but based on the evidence he's given us so far, on the data...
Yeah, based on the evidence, he's cooked.
Based on the evidence we have so far, the data of the last 6 months, if you give him money, he will spend it in the wrong areas. And now I'm asking the question, Bruno is so important that he wants him to stay, but we need... Bruno can play in the 10. I think even his fans can agree to that.
No, but the thing is, though, I want to know, yeah, guys, in the chat, yeah, be honest, yeah, where is Bruno's best position in this Man United Amorim system?
After the years of
I want to ask them.
the fact that we have to ask this, I find it mad. After years and years of seeing Bruno Fernandes play,
But they have to be specific.
I tell you
numerous
what,
different formations with numerous different players. We're trying to find where he fits in under this manager at 30 years old. At 30 years old, we're trying to figure out how we can play. And then Bruno needs a ball carrier next to him.
They say 8. They say 8. So that means, what does that say, Saeed? They say he needs to play next to Ugarte, because Ugarte is
but he can't play with Ugarte.
Well, there you go. So do you ship Ugarte, who's a player the manager knows very well and had previously and knows this system very well as well? So now you're going to remove Ugarte to keep Bruno. How does that make sense?
No. If we say for example, we go and get a midfielder. Who do you like in world football, Adam? Give me a midfielder that you like that can play in that 8 role or that whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Vitinha. Vitinha,
for example.
Vitinha, okay. Vitinha plays with him in Portugal, but do you reckon he can play in that 2 that we play now in the system of the 3-4-3 in that system there? Would Vitinha and Bruno work in a 2?
I don't think no one really works next to Bruno in midfield. Because every player that plays... We need 3 players.
Adam is crazy. Bro, I will read the super chats.
We need 3 players in midfield if you want Bruno in midfield. That's my point. If you have only two, then you had Casemiro and it didn't work. Casemiro is a defensive player. Ugarte and it didn't work. Everyone.
Yeah. Nessie, man. Come on, man. Nessie. We need the money. See, listen to me, yeah. I believe, yeah, we're keeping Bruno Fernandes because he can give us GA, get you goals, and he's key part of that. Almost like when you need something, you need it, you have it. It's almost like certain people need that little something, that oomph. It gets you going in it. You feel me? Like,
do you know what? Yeah, I hear it.
Pre-workout, Faz, like a pre-workout or post-work, something that gets you pumped up. Yeah, brother. I believe in the long term. Yeah. We really don't know what we'll do with our team, so hence why there's not like a feeling of let's not keep like we did with Shaw. Luke Shaw on his day. Luke Shaw's the best. Luke Shaw's the best left back on his day.
All right, there you go.
Combined 11 if Luke Shaw's fit.
No. I look at everything. Yo, we need him for now. I get it, but when you assemble a good team. Is Bruno Fernandes in there? Like, is he in there? As for the balance of the team,
let's just say we keep Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, let's say we keep Bruno Fernandes and we just build the team because we need to. Bruno's 30, gonna turn 31, 32. You know, he's gonna get getting on. So we need to find a replacement or an understudy for Bruno Fernandes, anyways. Yeah. Manchester United fans, you're gonna end up having a 350 grand player on the bench, and none of you were wanting that with David De Gea. Because I'm sure if David De Gea was on the bench, you lot would have been a much more happier fan base than what you are now. You didn't want that with David for being 350. You're going to end up having Bruno Fernandes on the bench for 350 soon enough.
Exactly. And another thing, Bruno, if you tell me Bruno is part of the squad, but he's not the main guy, I'd be happy to keep him. But that's not what happens. He never rests. He's never subbed off. We buy the player to play next to him, and then we keep removing the player next to him. If you tell me Bruno is part of the squad and he does a job, but he's allowed to be dropped, he's allowed to be benched, but he's a good player to have.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. The reason I want Bruno gone is not because I think he's a terrible player and I think he's this and that. It's because he takes too much space and we can't build nothing. We can't build a team. If we had, exactly.
GA. And people might say that's crazy to say, yeah.
If we had someone with a set of bollocks on him that would say, you know what, I'm playing without Bruno, well, there you go. I'd be happy to have Bruno. But
you know what is that as well? We haven't seen a team that can function together without, like, just for example, we still haven't seen a United team that functions by not just having 2 players that carry the team.
Yeah, but you know what, Saeed? Another thing.
We haven't seen a team. When was the last time you looked at a team? Yeah, you thought, yo, everyone's firing. we're looking like a team that can score goals from every position. When would you say, like, be honest here, and this is for any manager. Maybe it's Oli, maybe it's that manager, Ten Hag at the first.
We haven't been able to do that with Bruno.
Hey?
We haven't been able to do that with Bruno in the team, and this is exactly my point. Ragnick had an identity. Ragnick basically invented an entire school of thought when it comes to football. Ragnick basically invented running, and he couldn't get any pattern out of this team. Ten Hag, as much as
he struggled on the Ragnick, when he deep it,
he struggled as much as Ten Hag is a bum. Ten Hag can coach a team. Yeah, the 3-2 exactly. Ten Hag, as much as Ten Hag is a bum and he's a little man that needed to go, Ten Hag can coach a team to play in a very specific type of way. We've seen him do it. Every manager that comes to this club cannot get an identity going. And we removed every player but Lindelof, Maguire, Bruno, and Rashford. Overall.
Deep this year, let me give you perspective. Mkhitaryan is 36 years old. Possibly playing in Champions League final, bro. At 36 years old, yeah? And I'm here telling you, okay, Bruno Fernandes 30, whatever. If Bruno is so great of a player, right? We will see where Bruno Fernandes plays at 36 years old. And I promise you, he ain't playing in Champions League final, bro.
Where was he playing at 25?
He won't be. And if we're going off stats, yeah, and if we're going off, what would happen if we lose? Sporting won the league the season after, no?
Exactly. It's a team game. It's a team sport. This is what people don't get. If you
go look at how Mkhitaryan's playing, go look at Mkhitaryan's numbers, matter of fact. Is Mkhitaryan's numbers half as much as Bruno? No, it's not. No, it's not. But I've seen Inter Milan play football. I see Inzaghi ball, bro.
Look, exactly.
He's mad. It's so much more entertaining to watch.
This is the thing, right? And let me just get these super chats in as well. Big up to Reem as well. She says again, expecting Bruno to win a league with Casemiro, Ugarte, Højlund, and Mount. Also blaming Bruno for Ugarte and Ahmed positioning when it's on the manager. I don't know which one. What do you mean by that?
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean position. Can you elaborate? You don't have to send a super chat, but just elaborate on the positioning. Marcelo Tavares, who's maybe a Portuguese by the name. Bruno joined United in 2020. United had been trashed way before he joined. You guys sound silly. This is why great players now stay away from us.
We were trashed before Bruno joined. But we were getting 80 points.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, and look at what we won as well before he joined.
But also, I don't agree with the final statement there about great players stay away from us. We're just not ambitious enough, and we're not a great club right now in a minute. The Ronan says this means Amorim's going to Al-Hilal with Bruno. They need a manager now, so it makes sense. LJ says, what data? Been thrown in the middle of an already shit season with already shit players. Manager out. So
but again, that's what because there are some times where people just don't want to understand what you're saying. So that's why I'm getting cooked for criticizing Bruno, because people don't want to understand.
I'm getting cooked as well. But
it's just before Bruno joined, since Bruno joined, what have we actually won? An FA Cup, Carabao Cup. And
we won them because of Casemiro and Varane joining, mostly because of the influence and the backbone of the team getting better. And like people say in the comments, like someone said, what you said, I said I prefer Mount to Bruno. I said if both are fit and I'm building a team, I'd much rather have Mount over Bruno because he's much more predictable. He's not a better player, but he has a better first touch. He's less reckless. He's less disruptive. He doesn't score as much. He doesn't create as much, like people will say. But if I'm building a team, the choice is very simple to me. I'm picking Mount because building a team is about building predictability and coherence and chemistry. And we haven't been able to do that ever since Bruno joined. I'm not comparing talents here. I'm talking about Man United. So this is what people don't grasp. If you tell me Bruno scores and gets the assist he does, but we finish first, I would just shut up. I wouldn't have a thing to say. But we keep getting worse and worse.
I agree. I think for me, Adam Amorim has mainly looking like the Conga. You know what it is for me? Like, I think is there a way though that Bruno can be part of a good team though, and then we say, you know what, we don't build around Bruno, but Bruno is also a piece of the puzzle, and he's a piece of what Man United are. Like, is there a way that this manager? Because you know what it is for me. If you then, let's say for example now, I want Bruno sold or whatever. He's probably, if the money comes through. But if we build a team, that is ready, and I mean Cunha and Buemo, we go and get Osimhen, we go and get some bad boys, could you then tolerate a Bruno in a good team? Could you say, you know what, we've got players that can maybe hide his deficiencies. We've got players that maybe can play in the system here. We've got 2 good wing backs. Everything's set. There's no excuses now.
If
So
he's
you
not
know,
the main guy,
go on.
If
If he's not the main guy,
if he's not the main guy, if you're not building around Bruno and he's part of the squad and he comes on as later on or he starts a few games like a part of the squad, of course he can, because he's not completely useless. Of course, sometimes I say stuff that I exaggerate, but he can have a place in a good team. Of course he can. And people say, like, people again in the comments, I'm not saying Mount is better, just people don't understand what I'm not saying.
I disagree with you there. I remember me and you having a chat about Mount and Bruno. I don't really see Mount's kind of you know what I mean, like what he brings to the team. So I won't be as like.
But now you're saying this now with hindsight because he has been injured. And look, I didn't want Mount and I want him gone. I'm not defending anything here. But with hindsight, Mount has just not played. So it's easy to say he's completely useless. He's not playing ever. And that's fine. He should go. He should leave. But you can win a Champions League with Mason Mount just being a role player.
Yeah. He called me hypocrite. What? Because I said about Sancho. Listen, you know what it is for me. And like, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve in it. I say things. I'm not one of them. You see, there's people in this content space here, and you know who they are. I don't need to say names in it, but they will flip flop on Bruno Fernandes. They will flip flop on these players here. They won't really say how they feel, yeah. But when it's popular to do so, I've seen so many people, on this platform criticize Bruno, say that Bruno, I can see why people don't rate him and they don't see why this and that. They would say, you know what, sell everyone. And then I swear down, bro. You see them flip-flops here? They need to be called out, bro. I swear down. I'm sick of it now. Because what they do, they hide behind the like, honestly, what they'll do is, so for example, now I've got this opinion on a certain player. I'll say it. And for whatever reason, you'll have so many people criticizing that opinion. But when it becomes popular, and that's just everyone. When it's popular, everyone gets on the bandwagon. I see it all the time. When Bruno's playing badly, everyone's having podcasts about Bruno. Why are you having podcasts about Bruno?
Exactly.
You know, why do you talk about Bruno? What's happened to Bruno? Bruno's a top player according to you lot. You know what I mean? So don't do this. Because then as soon as he gets his goals and assists here, bro, man, I start saying hold that and you know and you know, like, respect Bruno and all of that, bro. That's bullshit.
Because you know what? Now I'm saying stuff that people don't like in the chat and on Twitter, of course. Because now Bruno has been, to be fair, he's been all right for the last month and a half.
100%, bro.
I've said way worse than that about Bruno, and people were agreeing with me 10 times over. Like I said way worse about Bruno a few months ago, and people were on it. They were agreeing with me. And last year, same thing. Yeah. And now people are now Bruno's our best player. So it's fine. But
I think it's everyone though. It's not just him. It's Garnacho. The conversation changed every month with Garnacho. Exactly. He scores a couple of goals, and now all of a sudden, why are we selling him? Like, what do you mean why we're selling him?
Because you know what, Saeed? To be fair, I'm harsh on Bruno, and I'm very harsh on Rashford, for example. But no one gave Maguire more shit than I did. No one gave Lindelof more shit than I did. The things I've said about Garnacho, I said, get him gone ASAP. So as much, of course, I put a lot of blame on Bruno because I think he makes poor decisions. But if you ask me, I would sell 80% of it. I'm not saying Bruno is playing in a great environment. I said Garnacho needs to go. I said Rasmus is completely useless. I think Zerski, even though I think he's a good player, should be part of the rotation, shouldn't be starting for United. Casemiro, as much as he's one of our better players at the moment, and he's a legend of the game, I was against the signing in the first place. So I never was very warm to that signing. But if he plays well and he's useful, fine. I will see it and I will agree with it. Ugarte, I was not a big fan of signing Ugarte in the first place because he's not the type of player that I like. But he has good attributes that can be useful to the team. So I'm not mad that he's here. So as much as people think I'm only on Bruno's case, I've been wanting all of these players that are fan favorites out for a long time. For a very long time. McTominay, I wanted McTominay gone. Like many players, I want them gone. So,
but I think it's a culture at United, though, that, you know, we can't really let go of players, though, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to, like, McTominay, there's got to be revisionism around him. Yeah, we see it in the group chat now, in it, Faz. There's a revisionism on Anthony. There's a revisionism on this player here. Like, it's constant, bro. And that's all because our players don't perform consistently enough. And when our players don't perform consistently enough, we then look around and think, oh, that player there, that player there. You know what I mean? When Sancho left, I said, yo, listen, do your thing. You know what I mean? It's not my player anymore. I didn't, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, yo, I would bring him back or anything. I think for me, Sancho shouldn't come back to Man United. I made that clear. You know, anyone like Anthony shouldn't come back to United. They've had their chance. You've got to move on. It's simple as that. You know, we can say, you know, they're doing well, but doesn't mean I want them back. Simple as that. You know, hey, I don't want him back. I don't want McTominay back. I don't want these guys back. Let them enjoy their future and we move on. Our problem is getting the best, and what do you call it? Getting the best replacements possible.
We get the wrong players. We get it the wrong way around. Like we can't tell the good players from the shit ones. This is what happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like people can criticize as much as they want. Like, we ended up with the players the fan wanted to stay.
Yeah.
And now they're blaming the players. At least, I mean, make it make sense because it's not adding up to me.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, this one here, this is funny, man. TikTok fans, innit? It is what it is. Like, I'm used to it, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think for me, I think the club won't sell Bruno. I really don't think they'll sell him. I don't think manager wants to sell him. I think this is a case of if this gets aggressive and it gets serious in the summer, then you might see it popping off and whatnot. But I don't believe for 1 minute now that this club want to sell Bruno Fernandes. No chance. Not in a million years. Not only would it go against what the fan base want, I think it goes against the club, you know what I mean, and whatever. And I think they can't afford to lose someone of that influence, not only in the dressing room, but the numbers he brings, what he brings to the team. I don't think they want to lose that influence right now, especially while you're already rubbish, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you wouldn't want to do that right now, especially when you don't have anything right now to kind of save you at the minute. Like, there's no like the manager needs a little bit of, because the manager's in trouble, bro. Do you know what I mean? So losing a player of that quality, it don't make sense for him, bro.
Yeah, but it's also going to cost him next year if you don't deliver the same amount of output that's expected.
But he'd rather live that another day. He'd rather make that decision and think about that another day. For now, he's providing the goods for the manager, and he's like, "Yo, we're cooking." In his eyes, Bruno's cooking. You know, and the numbers are there, the assists are there. Yeah, but on a when you look at a spreadsheet, Adam, you know, you will know what if the spreadsheet will tell you what's there, but you then have to find out the context, right, and what's going on. You know, so that's what's there for the manager is goals, assists. We're getting out of trouble. It's good for now, but the context behind it is that we're still 16th wherever we are in the league. We haven't won back-to-back games. We're still not finding a balance. We still look a bit off. So that's all behind everything there. It's down to you as a manager then to like next season, right? Okay, cool. I've seen what's happened here. I've looked at the data. What then can I do to get rid of this and get rid of all that, you know, all the things that are blocking our progress, basically.
Yeah.
But
this is the thing. Like, I think our understanding of football is just feels wrong to me. Just feels wrong because when I say things that sound, for example, very outrageous, like the Mount thing or whatever, I'm not saying it to be outrageous. I'm saying our relationship to the game looks weird to me. People say, yeah, but Mount doesn't have an impact. But now we are just looking for impact. But we are looking for impact because we are in trouble. We are looking for the difference maker player because we are in a bad place, because we can't play well. Yeah. But if we started to build a team that had control from the first minute, we wouldn't be looking for that impact. We would grow into games. We would be more solid and we would create chances. So if you're looking for impact, you're already a bit off it. You're already a bit off target. Like what would happen if we didn't have Bruno? Who would get us out of trouble? But then the question is not, that's a very poorly asked question, is how do we not get in trouble in the first place? That should be the right question to ask. How do you approach it differently so that you don't need someone to come in and save us? because all of this savior thing, I'm a bit fed up of it. I can't lie.
I'm with you. I'm done with saviors, man. You get me? So that's where I'm at right now. Shout out to Jason Hanna, man. Big up to you, mate. He says, Saeed, Bruno isn't just about GA. He offers more than just goals and assists. I do agree. You know, it is just more than goal and assists. But I think for me, we don't look for Bruno for a fancy player that's going to create, that's going to be, you know what I mean? Like I want to say he's a wonderful footballer to watch on the eye, but a lot of it is down to the fact that he can get you goals and assists. People don't look at Bruno Fernandes as a player that's amazing on the ball. He can, you know, do. I don't think that's it. But in terms of goal scoring and being that machine, that's what I think a lot of people resonate with Bruno Fernandes.
Of course, and it's fair enough. But then again, if you look at the contest and you look at the games individually, how is it that we score with Bruno or without Bruno for the few games? Of course, the sample size isn't that big, but we average the same amount of goals, 1.5, and we average 1.5 the season that Ronaldo scores 20 goals in the league. We averaged 1.5 the season that Lukaku scored goals before Bruno came in, and we averaged 1.5 with Weghorst, with Rashford scoring 30 goals, with Martial, Rashford, and Mason Greenwood as a front three. We average a bit over 1.5. So the thing with Bruno and his goals is that usually, if you notice, they are against poor sides, or he scores a lot of goals in the game, in one game. So he can go 2 in a game, 3 in another game, 2 in another game, and then he goes stretches without scoring. So even then, it's not even enough to look at the numbers. My favorite Bruno games have always, most of them are games where Bruno is not scoring. There are games where Bruno has been absolutely excellent and he's not scored or given an assist.
Yeah.
And usually when he plays very, very well, we win the game. And that's what matters to me.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Like I said, we'll see. Like for me, I think, you know, let this marinate. This is one of them. It could be one of them situations where we talk about it for like a day or two and then, you know what I mean? Like it'll be put to bed. You know what I mean? But like I said,
it ain't gonna happen anyways. And you got to look at all aspects of things, not just Bruno's a terrible player or Bruno's an amazing player. You have to look at how this can affect the club. You know, that's the most important thing. How do we, if that happens, how do we go? Because like I said, Man City are having to find solutions for Kevin De Bruyne. Liverpool are gonna have to find solutions for Trent. You know, and those teams are way ahead of us, and their players are way better than us, and they're having to figure it out. So why can't we figure it out? Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, we do have bigger things to worry about than Bruno Fernandes. There's no denying it.
Absolutely. I feel like you don't get rid of the bigger. Who sorts their problems out by getting rid of the smaller things first? You know what I mean? Like they get rid of something big, and then it spirals into the smaller things. You know what I mean?
But it also tells you how bad Manchester United is for not securing themselves early on. And we're in a position where we're going back and forth over a player that really and truly we should have had an understudy for already. Do you know what I'm saying? We're not prepared, basically. We're not in a position to let a player go. That alone for Manchester United is abysmal. We're not in a position to let a player go of Bruno Fernandes' caliber. That shouldn't be the type of club that Man United are. We should be able to go and find the biggest players, the best players. And the fact that we're not in that position is just scary, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the problem with Bruno as well is like my problem is not him losing the ball, because that happens. My problem is him losing the ball trying to do the wrong thing. If you lose the ball, try to do the right thing, I can live with it. De Bruyne and other players lose the ball as well. They lose the ball very often. Creators lose the ball. But if you try to pick the wrong option and it gets us in trouble every time, that's enough at some point.
Yeah, I agree. You know, if I said United sell Bruno Fernandes, but then they put a bid in for Cole Palmer, what you saying, Mandem?
I saw someone. Of course, we take it. I saw someone
that would be if United had a Bruno Fernandes replacement, it would be go all out for Cole Palmer.
And you know what? I saw someone, I don't know who, I think someone told me this, like those videos where you say those two players, which one you keep, and it was Amad or Bruno.
Yeah.
And I don't know who kept Bruno instead of Amad.
Okay.
Keep Bruno.
Yeah, that's smart. It's
Say that again.
I said, would you keep Bruno over Ahmad? Does that make sense to you?
No, I wouldn't.
course not.
No. I wouldn't personally. I keep Ahmad for me personally.
Bruno,
But you know what though, yeah. I think for me, like I said, I don't know if Cole Palmer would ever leave Chelsea, but if he would leave, it's definitely to United though, 100%. If he's gonna leave, the United boy,
he will leave at some point.
dream come true. You get me? I don't know if Chelsea fans agree with that, but you know what I mean. Hold that. But that's the player that I'm like, yo, that right there. Even for me, a Cherky, I would put Cherky more on the right, if I'm being honest with you. But Cole Palmer, the key's yours, mate, to Old Trafford. Tell you that, mate. But we are dreaming a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Late hours and that, we're here, you know what I'm saying? See what I mean? So we're dreaming. Marcelo Tavares, by the way, you got a sick name, bro. Sick name, my guy. He said, you can say we should sell Bruno for 100 million without shitting on him for 1 hour. United has been bid before and after Bruno arrived, glazes out. Listen, I've actually been fair on Bruno. Guys, we are not like, we're giving the good sides of Bruno and the bad sides, bro. Like, I think for me, I'm very respectful. Like, I can be mad, don't get me wrong. I can do the whole thing after the game, but I'm very calm when it comes to Bruno Fernandes. I see the good and the bad, but I think the bad outweigh the good in the long term for my United. I generally think for me sometimes you can have something that might be good for you, but in the long run, I'll be honest with you, I think for me, he's a net negative. I've said it before. People will go mad when they hear that. They'll be like, oh, man, net negative. What are you talking about? But for as good as you get, I generally think for me, the badness, because I'm a Man United fan first, I see the bigger picture and I'm like, when I look at it, even for Rashford, I don't want Rashford anymore. There's a reason for that. Because I feel like there's so much baggage that gets with him. I'm like, bro, I just think for me, United, without Bruno and Rashford, we can build something.
Exactly. Because you know what? As much as I think Bruno is a net negative, I 100% agree with you. I have a lot of respect for him. Like,
I agree.
I think he should go. I think we are a better side. It would help us to build the team better if he wasn't there. But he works very hard. He has good work ethic. He gets along with everyone. He seems like a very respectable lad as well. Like, I have respect for, just as much as I had a lot of respect for McTominay.
Well, he doesn't. If he's on the football pitch, you see how some players, like, they really like, kind of hate on them. Like, he's one of them. Like, he's not like almost like, yo. But when he does things, it really irritates me, bro. Like, and that's where my angers come from. Like, bro, we're playing all right. He does something crazy. Hollywood pass, one the back foot. They're getting goals, and I'm seeing, teams score because we're not good on the counter attack. You feel me?
Yeah, 100%.
So, you know what I mean? And that I don't like, bro. I like to see the game refined. I like to see our team play good football.
And when
I'm watching teams like Barcelona and that, you know what I mean? I'm watching Pedri and them, man. Exactly. I'm watching football like that.
Pedri,
exactly. See hoofball? Come on, man. Maybe it's the way I see football. And people like to see football the way United's been playing. And it's cool.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being 14th when you got the money we have and the history we have, is it?
Yeah. Big up to Reem. We're going to wrap it up soon, guys. There's a clear divide between players who have profiles of a transitional style of football, Classy, Ugarte, Hoyle, and Xerxes, versus professional-based ones. Bruno, Bazarawi, Lissandro, Menu. Bad planning.
Yeah, but Bruno doesn't play with the ball, though. That's
for me as well. Xerxes transitional? I'm not sure about that one.
You could swap those two, actually. You're right.
And Cass is not transitional. I think Ugarte is Hoyland, yes, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Hoyland at this point, man, he doesn't play football.
Let us go. Said, do you all think Bruno has improved his games and leadership this season? I agree. Since the Wolves game, I think he's improved. I think he's improved his game, and we're not seeing his deficiencies a lot. It's been hidden, I think, for me personally. But like I said, people, they might not see that. They might see this. I've seen a more improved Bruno since that Wolves game where he was very, very bad. I genuinely, you get me? I think he's been a bit more careful with his thing. He can have the odd bad game though. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? He's found a little bit of a rhythm since that situation there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Exactly, but again, you know what? At the moment, the squad, like Bruno's been doing fine the last few weeks, the last month or so, and the squad, the players around him have been poor players. Like, to be fair,
Yeah.
he has. But then again, this is my problem. When we have poor players on the pitch, he looks fine. But when we have better players on, he tends to get worse.
Yeah.
But then again, that's a question for another day.
I just want to see us play like a team. If Bruno's part of that team and we play well, I swear down, bro, we forget everything, man. Them.
Oh, I will apologize.
Yeah, we will apologize. We'll be the first one to say,
I will
yo, man,
apologize.
we got it wrong. I should never have said it should be sold. I'm one of them. I'm one of them, yeah. I'm
What
not-
if we did what? If we did what?
If we win the Premier League with Bruno in the team, I will
Yeah,
apologize and I'll say, you know what? I will because I don't have a
If we
Bro.
win a major,
yeah. I
major-
don't mind being proved wrong. It's fine.
if we win a major, yeah, and Bruno's an absolute, I mean, he's a man possessed, yeah, and he's an integral part of that. I'll put my hand up and say, you know what, all this negative is bullshit, and you know, we have won it. But then again, I also believe you can't win a league like that, though. That's the problem.
I'll never apologize because it's never happening.
No,
I'm saying if it is, though.
If
I don't
we
think
win-
it will
What
do.
kind of mad shit is that?
if we win the Premier League with Bruno starting, or if Bruno leaves this summer, next one to a top club and they win with him, like big trophies. Let's suppose he goes to, I don't know, Inter Milan and they win the Champions League with Bruno. I will apologize. I will say, fine, I got it wrong.
Yeah, got it wrong. Yeah. Or like I said to you, he's in the team and we play possession football. We play very, very good football. We do big things. And I'm telling you now, and again, this is hypothetical, Faz. So you gotta think like that. Don't think we're gonna do
Yeah,
this.
so did they thought it was hypothetical as well when they thought the Mayan calendar said the earth is gonna come to an end, man. Forget all of this. man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, so that's why, because I've
Dumb
been so,
hypotheticals, man. You ain't
I've been
winning
so
shit.
confident. I've been so confident in my thing that's
Let's
why I
see,
hate-
innit? Let's see, man. You know,
Yeah,
is there the champion, the Asian
I think
Champions
what-
League, the Saudi Champions League? Is that count?
Hey,
Let him go to Saudi, innit, and get the Saudi Champions League and that.
yo,
that's why
Saudi
that's why I'm giving the fans a chance. If he goes,
Majority of these
but the thing is,
people
though-
were nowhere. Listen, majority of these people were nowhere to be seen when they were cussing out Bruno game after game when we were spamming balls and losing games. Now, because the numbers are good, they're here. These are all neuron fried people in the chat.
and by
I
the
don't
way,
give a damn.
where's that video,
a lot
man?
of them, a lot of them neurons are fried.
and you know what, fans?
Neurons are fried because
Faz,
this
you know
same
what, you know-
chat
you
was
see one thing, Faz.
blazing Bruno, yeah, after game after game, saying sell him. Bruno, talk about Bruno. Saeed, talk about Bruno. Me, car park, Saeed. Bruno is a net negative. And these neuron fried children are now saying, "Oh, he's the best thing. Take my mod."
Also, you know what? Yeah,
Take my
Let me call
mod.
out- let me
I
call out
can't
Jason.
do this anymore. I can't see
Jason.
Bruno. Move,
And you know
man.
what, Faz?
Beg.
calling out.
Absolute
Jason,
beg.
let me before you go. I'm calling out Jason. Yeah, he's the head of the Bruno fan army. Yeah, Jason, you were on the chat. You said to me, "Now I get why you're mad at Bruno and whatnot." I remember, Jason, you were saying that about Bruno Fernandes. So you lot, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people have done their videos on Bruno. They've done it. They've said, you know what? When you look at him, he's not da 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 da.
And you know what, Faz?
I get it. They've done their videos.
Of
They've
course
done
they
their videos, guys. I'm saying we've kept it consistent. Me, Adam, and Faz, we've kept it. How can you hate on a person that keeps it consistent?
Exactly. What
He's
do
in
you
the flip-
criticize me for? I've been saying Bruno gone since 2020.
Bro, you can't hate on a man that's consistent, bro.
Said the
Same way with
thing.
Rashford. Rashford, I said it from 2019.
2019, exactly.
How can I have an agenda? I've said it from 2019. When
And
my
you know-
position is clear on a player, like I said, I've backed some players like Ugarte and whatnot. People that might not rate him. People that might not rate certain players. I've made my position on Mason Mount. That guy's a scrub. I ain't gonna flip-flop. You know what I'm saying? I said it. Luke
Yeah,
Shaw,
bro.
can't stand the guy.
Get him gone. And you know what's fast? Going back to what you said, because that's funny. People say like they were criticizing Bruno not too long
Big up.
ago, and now that we were losing game and he was losing possession 70 times in 15 minutes or whatnot, and we were losing games. At the moment, he's not losing the ball as much, and we are still losing games.
Yeah.
And the people who defend Bruno, you'll see a very strong correlation between defending Bruno and defending the manager at all cost. And I can't get how those two things always go together. Because now the manager is not doing a terrible job according to them, and Bruno is great according to them. So we need to get rid of Lindelof, the players that don't play. So those are the players they blame. like Ericsson.
Yeah.
Johnny Evans is still on the bench.
Look at this, yeah. Look at this, for example. One of the viewers on your channel, Saeed, yeah.
Yeah.
You had a video says Bruno Fernandes, this is personal now, rant. 7 months ago, you uploaded that video, yeah?
Yeah.
The highest liked comment after yours, anyways, yours is pinned in. The highest liked comment is a comment liked by 285 people, yeah? And this guy commented saying, Fred McTominay Bruno, Matic Pogba Bruno, Fred Pogba Bruno, Casemiro Mino Bruno, Amrabat Mino Bruno, McTominay Mino Bruno, Casemiro Ericsson Bruno, Ericsson Mino Bruno, Ugati Ericsson Bruno, Casemiro Mount Mino Bruno. We need to have a conversation about certain midfielder who apparently is best in the world. 285 people like that. And there's hundreds of comments in that video, Bruno slander. These absolute begs in the chat, yeah? Beg. That's what I call them, beggy messes. Mrs. Faz calls these lot beggy messes, yeah? Neuron fried, no nutrition in their body, beggy messes want to chat about Bruno when hundreds, thousands of you were slating him game after game. Because I'll go and find, you know what? If Saeed,
you can't find receipts of these guys, though, man.
Bro, you can. You can, yeah? Listen, I'm a ring Turkish. I'm going to go IP tracking mode. Start searching these IPs of these accounts, these begs, man. Start searching these accounts, man. Because these men are begs.
I need to get
These
Z.
people, cut them
Z,
out,
where's Z?
yeah?
Let's start with Z. Where's Z?
The biggest receipt is we are 15th in the league or 14th. That's
where's Z's Twitter?
Bro,
I need
these
to find
people.
Z's Twitter. Where's Z, guys? Guys, find out where Z's Twitter is.
Yeah,
I'll get him first. You know what I mean? If I can find Z's first, then I'll start. There's Z Gold. There he is. Let me just type in Bruno Fernandes. Let me see if there's any slander on Bruno Fernandes.
And you know what? Like Saeed, before the FA Cup, 1 month before the FA Cup final, Bruno started playing well last year with tonight. But the month before the FA Cup final, he was good. But before that, even his biggest fan,
he's deleting them, man. He's deleting tweets.
You know, even his biggest,
guys, people are deleting tweets, man. I'm sorry, man. I can't delete tweets.
I have said, listen. I say a lot of mad shit, but I won't delete tweets because you know why? I can get things wrong. I'm okay. Saeed, you're the same. I get things wrong. I was the same person that said give Garnacho the 7 shirt, and then I went back on my word and I said I was wrong after seeing what I see. I was concussed. These people, you're a beg if you do that. Plain and simple. If you can't stand and say you
have a call-in show.
Call-in for what? Why am I going to talk to neuron fried people?
No. Why am
I going to waste my news? But do you not rate yourself? Do you not rate yourself? I have been on your calling show, you know. I've been on your calling show. I had one. Remember that guy whose mum was knocking on his door? He said, "Nah, mum, I'm on Saeed's stream."
Yeah.
Allow it, man. These people sit in the comments, shit.
No. Because Turkish, me and Turkish, we had this conversation, right? And Turkish was getting a few messages about, yo, you don't back the club, etc., yeah. And he said, go on the calling show and come and fight and basically come and talk to me. Guess what happened? No one came on. That's why I'm doing it. So you lot that want to have a debate with me, have a thingy. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, we'll have a conversation. We'll do a calling show. I don't mind. I want people to debate me. You know what I'm saying to you? So people want to be anonymous. Don't want to be on camera. That's the whole conversation.
You know what? There are fans say that one of the reasons why they defend Bruno is because they can take the numbers and the Excel sheets, and they can hide behind that because they say numbers don't lie. You can't disprove the fact that he has GA.
Yeah.
So it's harder to create the arguments against Bruno than in favor of Bruno. But the fact is, we are worse than we were before. So it's an easy position to have.
Let us go says what? So why not
another comment? Yeah. So I don't give a damn at this point. Someone said on one of your streams, on one of your videos where you said you bunch of frauds, explosive rant 3 months ago. Someone said thank you, Saeed. Finally, someone calling out Bruno. Man, and then 20-30 people liking the comment. Man, get out of here, begs in the chat, man. Absolute begs. People cussing. Where were you lot in the comments then? Where was you lot in the comments back in Bruno then? Bunch of frauds, man. You lot a bunch of absolute crybaby frauds, recency bias frauds. Where were you lot in the comments back in your boy?
Well, do you remember what they were saying? Like, Bruno looks knackered, man. I think he needs a rest. What happened to him? But he was
Yeah.
the very
You know
same
what it is?
Bruno.
It depends where you go. Because my Instagram is still popping up when I said I'm going to sell Bruno. And, part of the... if I go to that... Where is that video, guys? I don't know where the video is. Yeah.
Bro, another comment. Oh, Amorim keeps picking Bruno. The Portuguese bias. He never subs him. 20 people like the comment. Why are you not backing? Why are you not going and slating these comments? Man, get out of here, man.
But to be fair, on Instagram, I'm getting cooked, though.
Yeah, but I told you, say it's easy to defend
Bruno.
Bruno.
Watching us sell Bruno. Bruno is the heart of Man United. If he's good,
the heart of Man United,
he's 100% football knowledge. I stopped watching what he says. Sell Bruno. You don't know what you're talking about. Now Bruno's not going anywhere. I think it's just Bruno. I will disagree with the rest. 100% truth. Rick the Red said not good enough. Not good enough players left for an 11 is there. So Ricky was agreeing there.
Of course.
You ain't being brutal. You're being honest, 100%. Stay away from Manchester as possible. Tell Bruno why. You have 0% ball knowledge. So Bruno is Bruno as well, he can be defended. It depends what social media platform you go from. The reason why I like YouTube, the reason why I like YouTube is because I feel like on Instagram and TikTok, they take that minute clip and they fully run with it and they'll comment straight away. Some people might not even see the video. They'll just see maybe the thumbnail. They'll be like, yo, you absolute. But on YouTube, though, we've had an hour and a half debate here. But we've had a good debate, guys. And you might take this video and be like, you know what? I didn't like it. I liked it. But I see things that I like. I didn't see it. You can take a lot of things from it. With a minute clip, bro, I swear down, bro, you can cuss a brother out. You can say, if someone says to you, this water is not great, people
you get beef for that.
You get beef for drinking water on a minute TikTok. Exactly. Why is he drinking it like this?
Just like someone
doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, I mean, just like the way you're drinking water.
There's someone in the comments who said, just because we're getting cooked doesn't mean you're wrong. Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Like, sometimes you have to stand for what you believe in, regardless if it's a position, like a popular position or not.
Yeah. And by the way, it was going to be a solo show today, but then I thought, let me shout the brothers if they're about. If there is, I'm the, like, you're not going to find many channels here that have debates the way we do on this show. How many times have you been on this channel, Adam and Faz, where we've had so many contrasting opinions? When has my channel ever been an echo chamber?
No, I always beef with someone.
Bro, you find the biggest debates on this channel. Go and watch these. Bro, Faz is laughing. He knows, like, on this channel, bro, we've had so many clashes, so many debates. This side, me and Musa and Traps, we're having a full-on war, guys. Me, Musa, Traps. It's unqualified versus the biryani band.
No, unqualified versus unemployable.
Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Yeah, we'll
unemployable.
Do that.
Yeah, some people cannot be employed. They just in the middle of the street looking left and right.
Yeah, bro. I swear down, man. Let me get this super chat. Let It Go says, why not amend your opinions on him? He's improving as a leader and a player, and that's all we ask from him as one player. And Jamie Canton, big up to you. Jamie says, Saeed, I love your channel. I watch every day, every show, but this brother below is so negative. He makes me sick to my stomach. Wow. What Adam? Now, the thing is, you're only looking at Adam just because of the opinion of Bruno. Like, he's a very knowledgeable brother, and I feel like it's not negative, it's just his opinion, Janice, if I'm being honest with you.
Then again, is it? Do you want to be positive on what at the moment?
Yeah, right now there is a lot of positives, I can't lie.
Like, because you know what, being positive for the sake of being positive, I think that's not a good behavior. I think that's toxic. It's lying to yourself. And they
need better panelists to dissect Bruno's game. Like, they need better players around him. They need better everything. They need better panelists to appreciate him.
Because you know what? They want panelists that agree with them. So that's
you know what it is, though. I think it's about perception in everything. Like, there's channels out there that full positivity, and it's amazing. I like to be I want my channel to be real. I don't want you just saying positive stuff for the sake of it. I want you to give your opinion. That's why I respect people that come on my channel, because it's them giving their opinion. I want opinions, guys. If you are Amorim in, you're welcome in this channel. If you're Amorim out, you're welcome. If you're Bruno in, you're welcome. If you're Bruno out, you're welcome. Bro, everybody's welcome on this channel. I don't discriminate. The only ones that I might is if you're a dickhead and you are abusive and you've seen it. You've seen who's being chopped from the channel because of beef and whatnot. You know what I'm saying to you? You know what's happened. So if you're here, that means we value your time and we value your effort. Like, bro, we want real, genuine fans, you feel me? We don't want people who are just gonna be either too positive, because I don't like it when it's too positive. And I don't like it when it's too negative. Like I sometimes it really like bugs me when it's always negative about United. It might be perceived that my channel, sometimes I'm a bit angry all the time, but I'm actually a positive fan. Like I can be shameless. I can be, you've seen me my characteristics on the channel. Like I'd rather be a giddy fan. That's my element. That's what I thrive in. Positive, buzzing, laughing, joking. That's what I thrive on. I don't want to be miserable. But United have made us miserable, so hence why we might look like we're negative when we're really not. We just love the channel. We love my United. And this is where it takes us to, man. It takes some dark places, man. I've been in the car park. Faz has been cooking. Faz has been learning new skills. Adam's been, reading more and studying more till he knocks out. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I mean, it's a beauty, bro. And like I said, bro. What we see, I swear down, bro. Like, if the manager was on here in this podcast, I think he would agree with a lot of stuff we're saying.
I would tell him the truth because you know what,
bro.
If you love something or someone, you have a duty to tell the truth.
Yeah,
this is what you believe to be the truth.
I wish, honestly, I just need 10 minutes with the manager, bro. 10 minutes. Exactly. Give me 10 minutes with the manager.
Oh, but you're not qualified.
I'm not qualified, yeah, but I just need 10 minutes with the manager just to tell him what I like about the system, what I don't like, what I think he could work on. Just see 10 minutes, bro. I'm ready for you. He's not going to watch this, but you get what I'm trying to say. Just give me 10 minutes, bro, of your time. I just want to explain what I think you should work on, what you should do. Again, I'm not qualified, but I just, and sometimes, these journalists and all these guys, they don't ask the right questions, man. They don't. They always get sound bites, man. I'm not here for sound bites. I don't want it to be a headline. I just want it to be, yo, listen, can we just do this? Can we just,
it's rigged. It's rigged. So that's why people are annoyed with some of the things we say.
Bro, they don't want me, bro.
I'll tell you.
I'll get a journalist card, bro. If they give me access, it's game over.
I'll tell you what, the one thing we can all agree on. One thing we can all agree on, on a positive note, is the way that you fried Troops. I mean, that was
listen, I destroyed him.
I didn't see it. I had to go check it out.
Frying, it was sensational.
Do you want to get the clip? Where's the clip again, man?
It's sensational.
Should I play the clip again?
It was sensational. It's as good as frying the best piece of fried chicken you could have, bro. You absolutely deep oil fried him, bro.
Yeah, bro. Bro, come on, man. We don't play around, bro. Like,
man said, forever London.
You know what it is?
Forever West Trophies.
I will
forever no trophies.
Me, like, you know me, like, you know what it is, yeah. United get cooked a lot, yeah. But I'm not having Arsenal fans cook our club,
Yeah.
I'm not allowing Arsenal. Liverpool, Man City, they can banter us because you know what? They've been winning trophies, yeah? And they've been winning major trophies, yeah? I can't allow Arsenal fans to cook us, bro. Are you mad? No way. That's why me and Turkish, he don't really cook me like that. You feel me? Like, he can cook me, but he don't really cook me like this. But Troop Sport, he can cook me. But let's run the clip anyway, man. You are not Man City. You are not Liverpool. You don't have the right here to nitpick and look at trophies. You might have not won a trophy in 5 years. You will die for a Europa League right now. Yes or no? Yeah? You've been saying every year, Arteta, why we're not prioritizing this? We're not getting the Premier League, so why not look at other trophies? You went out the Carabao Cup to Newcastle. How dare you look at them and say to us, oh, you know what? Europa League, we're having a laugh and whatnot. Bro, get out of here. Are you mad? You lot would die for Europa League. And don't let another season where Man United apparently are a banter club but still end up with a trophy. And you, man, who are meant to be going places, end up with 0 trophies again. Don't let that happen, Troops. You best hope that doesn't happen. Because every year, Man United are a banter club. But you know what? we somehow end up with the trophy. And every year you come up to me and say, oh, but what are you lot doing? What are you lot doing? Arsenal, London forever. Forever winning trophies. That's what your name should be. This was a lion.
That's lovely.
Bro, I swear down, bro. I was just, I was in a mood, bro. Yo, man. How dare you? I just said to myself, how is this guy looking down at trophies and start talking about luck and all that? Yeah,
where does that stress come from?
And I'm telling you now, I can't wait for Friday's episode because I know we're going through, inshallah, yeah. They're out.
Inshallah, because man, if we don't get through Bilbao, Saeed, it has got to be a generational head loss.
brother.
It has got to.
Yeah, you don't.
End the stream,
I'm
end the
starting to
stream.
already get angry, and it's not really like I don't want to. I just want to think that we're technically through.
End the
We're-
stream.
Yeah, like we're there, bro. But like I said, this is why now this week, yeah, even though it's not a hate along, it's officially a hate along. It's unofficially a hate along, by the way, on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not gonna call it a hate along because I don't want to jinx it. But guys, just to let you know, it's an unofficial hate along. Yeah, so that's what you got to remember. I want them out. I've deeped it, man. I was thinking to myself, yo, man, if they nah, man, get them out. Get them out. I want them out, bro. Just imagine that's the meltdowns, bro.
Yeah, I hear it.
Now, the content we're gonna get on Wednesday, 9-hour emergency stream for Lee Gunner. You see, Lee Gunner, we have to smoke this brother. You know,
You can't. His kidneys and lungs are already smoked.
Aye, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, you know what? Wallah, I'm telling you now, yeah. Lee Gunner, we've been kind to you, you know. Yeah. You've been, this Arteta out gimmick, yeah, and all this. This ain't gonna stop your cooking, mate. I swear down. I think we might have to have, yeah, a show together. Me, maybe Faz or someone to join me, and we're gonna call it the Lee Gunner Cooking Show. Yeah, I'm being serious, bro. Yeah, and Babs is gonna be a separate one. Babs, I'm gonna come to London to meet me in person. Yeah, that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna go on tour. You see, Saeed TV tour. It's gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you, man. Saeed TV tour. Yeah, Babs, your trips is Friday. Then it's gonna be Lee Gunner. Yeah, and then it's Babs. They're the three.
Imagine Turkish. Got a hairline like me, no trophies, and I leave with a trophy. That just tells you everything you need to know. That tells you everything you need to know. You see, Arsenal, yeah, they are like the people who beg it for guest lists in a nightclub. Hi, can I get guest list, please? Can I get discounted entry, please? Can I get into the VIP, please? You know how mad that is? That Manchester United do not need to be in top 4 to get Champions League football. That's how big we are. If you meet someone, deep this, yeah, this is actually psychological. If you meet someone on the road, hello, how you doing? You're right. Yeah, I'm okay. What's your name? Oh, my name is Jason. Oh, hi, Jason. You watch the Premier League? Yeah, I watch the Premier League. What team do you support, Jason? Arsenal. Bro, the first thing you're going to do when someone says they're an Arsenal fan, you're going to laugh. You're not going to say that. The first thing you're going to do when you see someone who's an Arsenal, you're going to laugh.
Yeah, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh.
If you meet someone who's a Man United fan, you're going to say, oh, man, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Xerxes, Ahmad, oh, Europa League, come on, man, you guys do it. When you meet an Arsenal fan, you have to say nothing. Naturally, your DNA, your body, your hormones, they go into laughing mode because you want to laugh. That's what Arsenal is. They are begs. They don't get in nowhere. They've got no heritage. Nobody knows them. Man United, we don't need no guest list, nothing. We're in the Champions. What's Champions League without Man United? Pure entertainment.
Bro, I'm telling you, you know what? United,
we had Barcelona in the Europa League and the whole world was glued. Glued. Yeah? Lewandowski, punched up, get out. People like
we made history
to Arsenal PSG, not because what Arsenal can do, but simply to laugh. Last time I checked, there's no Love Island, there's no entertainment on TV, there's no new movies coming out. The only entertainment they have is Arsenal. And I love the fact that Arsenal getting fried in the semis. I absolutely live and can I put it in a syringe and vaccinate myself with it? I absolutely, coming second place, coming this close and getting far is more painful than coming third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
Arsenal. I like that ugly guy that ugly guy who gets his one good-looking girl in his life and he thinks he's a big shot now.
Yeah.
No, my brother, you got lucky. She used you as a rebound. You were just one off FC. That's what you was. Use that as some sort of heritage. You know what I'm saying? But don't be thinking that you can bag 10 out of 10s every time you go out because you can't. You ain't built like that. You see, Man United, we can go without a trim, hair looking messy, black t-shirt trainers, and we secure the package. That's what we do.
Okay.
Even if we lose the final, the fact that Spurs end up winning, European trophy, get out of here. Arsenal finished, beyond finished.
Spicy Tottenham, I told them, man. Spicy Tottenham. Janice, big up to Janice. Is it a she, by the way? Yeah, it is a she. Big up to Janice says, I respect Musa and Faz. I, for one, I'm not against people speaking the truth, but it has to be balanced. Like Faz and Musa speak, but with him since day one of the manager appointment, he's been negative. I think he's been open to idea of Amorim, if I'm being correct, Adam. You've been a bit open.
Yeah. I've been very balanced on Amorim, and I've been trying to give it, like, and my point, what was it? If someone tells me they want Amorim gone, I don't have a counter argument to that based on the evidence of what's so far. Like, he's been outclassed by Premier League managers in and around all over the table. And he's not getting the best out of the squad. The squad is not good, but the squad can perform better than this. So if someone wants him gone, I don't know what to say. I don't. And for us not to be terrible, like, do you know how big of a gap we need to improve before next Christmas for anything to be remotely even acceptable? Yeah. Because if we are 11th or 12th, that's not acceptable. But to go from where we are now to be 5th, 6th, it needs a massive job.
I listen, I don't know what's gonna happen next year, but like I said to you, right now, I just think for me, bro, we got to enjoy the time we got right now, because boy, I mean, we're gonna win this trophy. Like I said, nine finals in 10 years, bro. Because we're not a cup team. We're not a Premier League team. We're a cup team right now. That's just the way it is right now for us. And Sush and Faz, not too much on us, please. We are in the mud enough. Big up to you, Suj. I'm sure it's daytime over there for you lot, man. So big up to you lot, man. But listen, big up to everyone who's enjoyed the stream, man. Like I said, leave comments below. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? And you know what I do? I do love these late night streams, though, man, because it's just, we could just have a chat, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could just have a nice chat about football, and it's in good spirits, man. So it's about, man. But please do leave a like on the video, though. That would be amazing. Thank you, Marcelo. Like I said, we've agreed and disagreed today. Big up Jason. Big up to all the super chatters. Jace, Janice as well, even though we disagree on certain things. We lost a mod today, man. Guys, big mod. Z.
Giving up your mod while Man United is 16th is just mad.
Bro, he's done a stinking hooked as well, man. That's the scariest thing about him, man. He's lost his mod status today. Crashed out, man. That's I've never had to really remove a mod with him asking me. I've had to just do it normally. But he told me to remove me. For the love of Bruno, fair play, I rate it, you know.
I don't rate it.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't rate it.
Z, listen, let's not time out Z. Z is a very special character, man. If you know, you know. You know what I'm trying to say. So let's see what Z can do tomorrow. Let's see what his performance is like tomorrow. But right now, as it stands, Z, stinking hook, mate. You know what I'm saying to you. But Adam, man, thank you for coming on, taking your precious time. I know you're
it's love, man. It's love. It's love as always, man. Thank you for everyone. And it's always in good faith, man. So it's nice. It's love as always. So we support the same club. We disagree fundamentally with some people, and that's fine. But we're in the mud, so we have to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. Faz, love as always, man.
Always, man. Always. And big up to the chat as well, man. Big up to the chat. We're all begs at the end of the day. We're all begging for trophies.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Telling you. We're going to redirect to Flawless, man. Flawless. If there's not one that's live after me, it's going to be Flawless, innit? So go over to Flawless's channel, Saeed TV Raid. Hail him up. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? And yeah, Bruno Fernandes. Is he going to be sold? Yes or no? Take care. We're out.
Ahora sí va en serio. Ahora es seguro. Tic-tac, tic-tac, tic-tac. Empezamos.